This brother right here is a true throwback. I'm talking about a time when you took the opponent gaining yards personally, when offenses didn't dare to put an offensive lineman in the backfield. Back when you didn't have a position. There was no strong side or weak side. You just played linebacker. Back before you cared about feelings. You just went out there and made plays. Back when no one had a sack dance. It was just see ball, hit ball. I'm talking about a linebacker in the truest form of the word. I'm talking about a two-time Division II All-American. I'm talking about a two-time CIAA Defensive Player of the Year. I'm talking about Carlos Fields out of Winston-Salem State, and this is his small college spotlight. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you a 2014 NFL Draft special. We're taking a look at Winston-Salem State's linebacker Carlos Fields in our small school spotlight. So let's go inside the film room and take a look at the coach's tape to see why Fields is one of the most underrated linebackers in this year's draft. First, we're going to take a look at how well Fields does versus the outside running. And you see right here in a game versus Tuskegee, as they run a strong side toss, Fields does a great job technique-wise, not taking a false step, but stopping right here. As the running back decides to bounce it to the outside, Fields didn't shoot the gap and give up contain. He stayed the course, strung it out for a minimal gain. Now let's look at it from the end zone cam. Again, great job maintaining proper technique and staying assignment sound throughout the course of the play. Excellent job for a minimal gain on a running play. Now here's another example in the same game. This time is versus the jet sweep. Fields does a great job in giving the lead blocker his inside shoulder, keeping his outside arm free, getting off a cut block, staying parallel to the line of scrimmage, and once again stringing out the run play. Too many times you see an over-aggressive linebacker get out of position, too eager to make a play, and they end up generating a big play for the other team as a result. Not Fields, as he's able to play with the controlled aggression, and that's a good part about his game. Now here versus Bowie State, Fields gives a textbook demonstration on how to set the edge, and he said it so well that he ends up making the play. Now from the end zone cam, you're going to see him not over pursue, give good contact with that inside shoulder, keeping his outside arm free and forcing the running back back inside to where his help is. And here's another great example versus UNC Pembroke, an outstanding offense, stringing out the jet sweep, keeping your outside arm free, not losing contain, and making the play in the backfield for a loss of yardage. So like I said before, Fields is a guy that does a great job in playing with controlled aggression, playing assignment sound, staying technically sound throughout the course of a play, which is why I believe he does a great job versus the outside running game. Fields can play on the outside as well as on the inside, so let's take a look at how well he does versus the inside run. Carlos Fields is 6'3", 228 pounds. Some say he's an outside linebacker, while some say he's a 3-4 inside backer. I think he can play any linebacker position in any defense. Now you see right here versus the inside zone, Fields takes his read steps while staying parallel, which puts him in great football position to change direction as the back tries to cut it back, and once the back decides to go upfield, Fields decides to go downfield and have a physical discussion at the line of scrimmage. As you look at it from the end zone angle, being able to play with control and having your eyes in unison with your feet allows you to stay in position to make a play at the line of scrimmage. Now this is the same game as Fields is able to work through the trash and make a stop for a short gain. And from the end zone cam, Fields stays under control, stop it right here. This is a great opportunity to shoot the gap to try to make a play, but again, that's a high risk move that puts you out of position. Instead, stay parallel, show good lateral movement, and deliver a good pop on the ball carrier. And linebackers are going to have to make plays in the hole, in space, and as a former running back myself, I would love to have seen this situation when you see a guy one-on-one in the hole with nothing but you, the linebacker, in the back of the end zone, but Fields does a great job staying low, playing with great pad level, staying balanced, and making a play versus the running back. And the reason why you see some guys are better on the outside is because they're not good in confined areas or not physical enough at the point of attack. That's not the case with Fields, as he does a great job in making a play in the hole. Now from the end zone cam, you're going to see right here a great illustration of gap exchange with the defensive tackle who's crossing the face of the guard, and Fields taking on that gap and filling it properly and making a tackle right there in the hole for a short gain. The NFL is a passing league, and you have to be able to apply pressure, and Carlos Fields does an excellent job as a blitzer, also in pursuit. You're going to see right here the closing speed to the quarterback coming off the edge to be able to get the sack. And here versus UNC Pembroke, the ability to read, redirect, and pursue to force a quick throw by the quarterback. You get a better view of it from the end zone cam. Fields is able to read the running back, sees the fake, and makes a beeline to the quarterback to try to force an errant pass. And this is another great play versus an outstanding football team in Slippery Rock, as Fields is aligned to the right hash against an option pitch and is able to come all the way across the field to make the tackle. This was highly impressive. It showcases his acceleration and his range from sideline to sideline. And finally, as a dog blitzer, the explosiveness just leaps out at you, how he's able to get from point A to point B with bad intentions. And like I've mentioned before, it's a passing league and linebackers have to be able to cover, and Fields excels in that department. It's mostly the reason why Winston-Salem rarely used him as a blitzer, because he was very good in pass coverage. It's a combination of knowing your assignment, playing with great awareness, reading the quarterback's eyes, reading the patterns of the receivers, showing good athleticism and ball skills to make a play. And here versus Tuskegee, you'll see Fields do a great job in reading both the quarterback and the route combination, getting himself in position to cause the incomplete pass. Now from the end zone cam, you see a guy that's very comfortable in space while displaying fluidity in his movements to knock down the ball. And Fields is not one of those linebackers that's surprised by the football that comes his way. He's a guy that's routinely involved in interceptions or pass breakups. You're going to see right here versus Fayetteville State a great example of that, dropping in his coverage, reading the quarterback, reading the pattern, and making a play on the ball, getting the tip that causes the interception for the defense. And this is just a phenomenal athletic play by Fields, also showcasing the length that he has. Here's a guy that's 6'3", but plays like he's 6'5", is always causing problems in the passing game. You're going to see right here as well versus St. Augustine, another outstanding passing football team, being able to drop back in coverage, reading his keys, driving, planting his foot in the ground to make a play on the football. That's an excellent play by a linebacker. Again, you can keep Fields on the football field for all 3 downs. He can play both the run as well as the pass effectively. So that's what a throwback looks like. That's what a linebacker looks like. Not a Sam or a Will or some guy named Mike, just a guy named Carlos Fields that does his job back in the line to make sure his team comes away victorious at the end of the night.